Welcome back as we unpack Congressman Dan Crenshaw's proactive proposal to regain control of our border through strict enforcement of existing immigration law and an aggressive surgical counterattack aimed at Mexican drug cartels. Sitting in for the vacationing Stephen Dial, Rice political analyst Mark Jones. Mark, as the casualties from fentanyl pile up, could an appetite be building for this hardball approach coming from a former Navy SEAL?
Well, certainly combating the fentanyl crisis is a bipartisan issue where there's virtually unanimous bipartisan support, Democrats and Republicans. The difficulty is for what Congressman Crenshaw proposes, you need the cooperation of the Biden administration, you need the cooperation of congressional Democrats, and you need the cooperation of the Mexican government. Those first two are difficult. That third one is next to impossible, at least until after the 2024 Mexican presidential elections.
Rudy, as communities across the nation, many of them run by progressive mayors, have begun grappling with this new influx of immigration, we are hearing criticism of the president, and it's coming from Democrats. Now, how critical to Joe Biden's reelection bid is flipping the border narrative before 2024, especially with independent voters?
I don't think he's worried about it at all, and I don't think that he looks at it as an issue. I mean, you know, right after Title 42 ended, he was out on his vacation riding his bicycle and laughing at reporters saying, see, the surge wasn't as big as you were worried about. Well, he wasn't referencing the surge that we saw in the months and weeks leading up to the end of Title 42. But as for the big election issue nationwide, I don't think the border issue really will make a difference at the ballot box. But where it will make a difference, I think, in the ballot box is down in South Texas, those border communities. I think we're already seeing that. We're seeing a lot of frustration from residents there who typically and traditionally that's been a blue area of the state, but now it's starting to turn a little purple, maybe get a little bit more red going in there. And I think that is where we're going to see some type of impact at the ballot box, Greg.
Dr. Mark Jones, the 2024 election is 17 months away, and I think we can reasonably expect whoever the Republicans nominate to use this issue like a baseball bat, especially if the Biden administration fails to effectively crack down. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, it is. Immigration is a great issue for Republicans because in Texas, a large majority of Texans agree with Republicans on the issue, and nationally, a majority of Americans agree with Republicans on the issue. It also divides Democrats in that half of the Democratic Party thinks that Joe Biden isn't doing enough to combat border insecurity, but half thinks he's too aggressive and he's continuing Trump-era policies. So you love immigration if you're a Republican. It mobilizes your base and it divides the Democratic Party and causes headaches for Biden. It's one of the reasons why Biden tries to avoid it whenever he can.
Okay, Rudy, you heard Crenshaw, a clear and present danger with operational control of the border, exporting poison that's killing, on average, a dozen Americans every single hour. Question, do you think even progressive Central Texans would back military action against the cartels?
You know, it's interesting that he used that phrase, clear and present danger. I've read the book, I saw the movie. I wonder if he has, because, you know, that whole concept of going in there and doing strategic strikes against the bad guys on the other side of the border, you know, really didn't have a good end result in that in the book, in the movie. So in regards to how this is going to be playing out up here in Central Texas, if something like that happens, there's not going to be any support. We have HB 20 that created a border unit, a specialized permanent border unit that got a lot of pushback by Democrats here at the state capitol. It got pushed back into committee, essentially killed, but then came back in an amendment form on a new bill that was coming up for a vote in this latter part of the session. But the Democrats are fighting it. So would progressives support it? I don't think so. Not a snowball's chance on the Rio Grande.
All right, Mark, you have a strong handle on Latin American politics. Crenshaw has publicly sparred with Mexico's president about military action. What are the ramifications if over time the congressman's proposal gains meaningful support? Because clearly the Mexican government can or won't stop these cartels. About 20 seconds, Mark.
Well, there really isn't much the U.S. can do without Mexican government cooperation. They aren't going to get it with President Lopez Obrador. They can only hope that in the 2024 election, someone from the more conservative alliance is elected. Perhaps they could work with them. But I think it's still going to be an uphill struggle. Mexicans see this as a U.S. problem, not a Mexican problem.
Okay, let's leave it there. To see this interview and others, go to our Fox Station's YouTube pages and continue the conversation with us on social media.
And the session is wrapping up here in Austin. A lot of big issues that may make it, may not make it, and a special session. We'll talk about that. We'll see you then. And don't forget to let us know what you think the issue is.